All is right in the world. So yeah, we're going to talk about Steam Machine. We only have one fan interaction today. So I don't know how many news you have, but it should be a relatively easy, quick show, to be honest.
Yeah. That works out because dinner this evening is going to be last minute Taco Bell.
Nice. I get it.
Yeah, we got these things from Walmart the other day because they were just genuinely curious. They're tot dogs. They're mini corn dogs, but instead of like the corn breading, it's tater tot. So maybe sounds like it'd be okay. It is not that. It is like artificial flavoring of tater tot, I believe.
Oh, yuck!
Like it
I've had those days. I've had those days.
It's like the only thing I can describe it as. It tastes like it has an aftertaste of melted plastic. That's just like almost the same exact flavor of. I'm actually just realizing this right now. Actually, we're going to do this in real time. Hey, you know what those tater tot dogs taste like? I just realized it right now. If you lick the Nintendo Switch cartridge, it's that. It's that. She's dying.
I actually hear her laughing. That's hysterical.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, for whatever reason, have decided to tune into another Horrible Gaming Podcast. I'm not alone. Usually I'm never alone. With me is
Neil, aka Tiny Wizard.
And we're going to do a show for you today. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about taking this week off because we got 2 in a row, and why not? But
that's the standard now.
Right? But you know what? We've got some exciting stuff to talk about, and I think you guys know what we're going to talk about, and that is the Steam Machine. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna discuss it in our talking point, and basically that's going to be the entire show because I don't think Neil has that much news. Do you have news?
Yeah, I do. It's pretty light stuff, I believe, for the most part. To be fair, I haven't looked at it in a couple days. I know I have a couple stories, but
okay. And then we have like one fan interaction. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty quick show, but we're gonna talk about Steam Machine today. So, but before we do any of this, we need to thank the people who make that possible. Above our ugly mugs, you see a custom graphic that's provided by Mr. Mark Bell. And then, of course, the theme song for this show and all the shows here at Old Man Gaming is provided by the man who makes the music, my brother, Nick Van Sliders. We thank him for that. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with a very short fan interaction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, brings us to our first segment, our most important segment, that is Fan Interaction. That's where we, the co-hosts, answer your comments wherever we find them. We only had one comment this week. It was Jason. He said, schools will call off for snow at the drop of a hat. Schools here will call off for snow at the drop of a hat. And when online schooling became a thing, it got worse. To the point the state either passed or tried to pass laws that limited the number of school days that can be done through online schooling. Yeah, there's got to be a balance. So, permit me to talk about non-gaming stuff for a second, since Jason has brought it up. I don't want them to call off, every time there's a frickin' snowflake. That's not what I want. But, Kent is so against calling off school that they only call off if the wind chill is minus 20. Now look, I know what you're thinking. That's not that bad, I guess. But you want a school there, but that's fine. But there's so many people. The high school has a 2-mile walk radius. Can you imagine walking 2 miles in minus 18 degree wind chill? That's pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal. I don't care who you are, or how old you are, or what you had to walk through when you were my age. That's a little brutal. I think that's a little ridiculous. I also think that, like, you have this level of, like danger. Like, and I think there was an incident many years back where they called off school. There was a kid who was unsupervised at home. He, unfortunately, tragic things happened to him. So I think that's one of the things that factors into the fact that they're very gun shy about pulling the trigger on whether or not they call off. But it's also unsafe. Like, it's unsafe for, we had the other day, that first snow day. I was telling Neil about this. I don't think we talked about it on the channel. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, hopefully not get into trouble. But they didn't call off school. And it was a relatively mild winter day as far as I'm concerned, but it did get cold enough after rain that 2 out of the 3 bridges that crisscross my city froze over to the point where there were brutal accidents on those bridges because they didn't have salt trucks ready. They just weren't ready. And that's one of those things that I'm like, okay, I think we're putting people more in danger by putting them all in the bus and making them drive across these bridges. I slalomed around accidents to get kids to school that day. I think maybe we could call it off a little bit before that. That's just my point of view on that, I guess. I'm not saying call it off anytime there's a drop of snow, but, like, there's got to be a happy medium, right?
See, it's absolutely crazy because over in my area over here, like, I remember it was like if there was like 7 inches of snow, it was like, oh, they might do it. Oh, they might do it. And now you get like 3 inches of snow or so, and it's like, yeah, we're probably just gonna pull the trigger on it. Right. I do feel like, it's an old man yelling at the clouds sort of situation at this point. But I definitely do remember back in the day. And in regard to your comment about 2 hours walking, your 2 miles walking, rather 2 miles walking. I do remember back in the day being a latchkey kid and having a time frame that I had to make it home by because, back in the day we didn't have cell phones or anything. Nope. So they knew school got out at X time and it took me roughly this long to walk home. Right. So if it took like so much more over that, and I had to get to the house and call my grandma to check in and say, hey, I'm actually home now. Like, and that stopped the timer, or else like every police officer in a 10-mile square radius would be on our ass. Yeah. But yeah, I do feel like it is a little bit different nowadays.
It's tricky. It's definitely tricky.
I think though they don't consider ice. I feel like that's always been a thing. It's like it's always just snow or cold.
Or wind chill.
The ice is its only thing.
Yeah. Ice to me is the thing that really we should be considering. Like, if you're asking me, because they're not considering putting them on the bus. They're considering them whether they can get to school, like walk to school or not, or stand at the bus stop and not be hurt. But they're not considering the fact that the bus is not a infallible device that is immune to ice and other such elements. So like, it's a tricky situation. But that was our only fan interaction. Again, Will, this is 2 podcasts in a row. I haven't seen a comment from you. If you have not commented, that is fine. If you're on vacation, it's no big deal. You comment on almost all of our videos, so I am very much feeling that maybe YouTube is spiting you in some way. Let me know if that's the case. In any case, I do want to talk to you guys about something else since we have a little extra time in the fan interaction, and that would be, I believe, the 7th annual Horrible Game Awards. I can't believe we've actually done 7 of these bad boys. The committee has already convened. We, as of this recording, most likely there is already a video up with our nominees posted because the voting for the nominees ended. The period for nominations ended Monday at 8 a.m. and this is going up on Wednesday. That being said, this week and this week alone, we will be considering the votes as to who wins. If you are not on the committee, fret not. You still get a vote. DM me, put it on Discord. I will count your vote. You can only vote once in each category, but I will count them. I'm very good about that. So if you want to vote. As far as the actual deciding goes, just a reminder to everybody, I know we do this every time, and I'll probably do this on the show itself. I convene 10 people. That includes the 3 foundation members, myself, Neil, and Philbilly, and then 7 other people who I pick based on their devotion to the channel, their variety of games that they may or may not play, and their willingness to actually vote and be a part of it. That's usually what I pick on. And I usually have a good rotation going. So if you were in one year and then you aren't in this year, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I try and keep it as fair as possible, because if I have the same 10 people in there every year, we're going to get the same types of games every year. That's not fair. So we try to be even though it's the most ridiculous, we try to be the most fair video game show out there when it comes to awards. So the people in that committee, other than the foundation members, get 2 votes per category. I will whittle the list of nominees, and it's a hell of a list this year. I will whittle that list down to 4 nominations for each category. These nominations will be based on, first, how many people actually nominated the same, like repeat nominations, and then second, that game's impact in the greater play space. So if I only have one game that was renominated in a category, I will take a look at all the other games and their impact in the space and try to make the decision on the other 3 nominations based on that. Once we whittle it down to the 4, the committee members who are not foundation members will get 2 votes. The foundation members get 3 votes per category, and then any of you writing in get 1 vote per category. I tally up the votes, and then when we do our annual Horrible Game Awards show, we tell you guys who you won. And in my opinion, it is one of the most fan-based award show there is. It is truly like a snapshot of what our subscribers and our biggest fans are playing and enjoying the most. So that's it. That's the Horrible Game Awards. So right now, if you're listening to this and you want to get involved, the nomination, there should be a video up. I usually do a video of all the nominations and the categories, and then I usually post on our Discord like a card of nominations. Feel free to vote. Get involved. I'm very excited for it. Anything to add to that, my good friend?
No, yeah, we're starting actually to get into the end of the year stuff. Actually, I was thinking the other day about how, because we have a set bunch of different shows that we do. We are our prediction, year in review, Horrible Game Awards. So we're actually going to be just running predetermined content here pretty soon. Towards the end of December, it turns into predetermined content. And I will say this, just because of timing, that might mean some time off for the live podcast even before that, because I don't know how much time we're going to get during the week to just record extra stuff. But we will. But yes, we do 3 pre-recorded shows towards the end of the year, so that we have a big break towards the end of December. And that is the Horrible Game Awards. There is the prediction show, and all of these will get the Triforce back together if Philbilly has time, and get him on the show. And then there's the year in review show, which I think this year it might just be you and me, because I honestly don't think Philbilly played anything but 3 games this year. He was a very busy dude, so and more power to him. But I was gonna say, I would much rather be in that situation. Right, exactly. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back and talk about Steam.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, brings us to our main event today, which is our talking point. Steam, Valve specifically, recently came out with a wonderful little 5-minute video detailing some of their new contributions to hardware. While everybody else is getting out of the market, they seem to be deciding to get in, which is awesome. So to start with that, they announced their Steam controller. They announced the they announced a Steam VR headset, and then they also announced the big thing that everybody's talking about, which is the Steam Machine, which is basically the first actual next generation console, because that's what they're all going to look like. They're all going to be PCs. That's what Steam is. It's like a little Steam Machine is like a little portable console PC. And yeah, they have not done the pricing yet. They said it's all coming out early 2026 though, but there are some people making some interesting predictions about the price, which I'm not necessarily disagreeing with. And I think we're going to talk about all of that here today because I'm very excited about it. Neil, where do you want to start on this, my friend?
Well, I think I would actually kind of like to start with the fact that this is actually round 2
Yes.
of this. So they did try once before partnering with Alienware, I believe was who they ended up working with. They had these Steam machines that were just these set-top boxes that were just straight up and down PCs that were set to run the Steam, get you into your Steam store. I believe they were Windows-based consoles, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they did not take off because it was an idea that was before its time, just like the idea of tablets now. You know, tablets came out back in the day. Everybody was like, this is dumb. Why would I do something like this? You know, we have a computer at home. Well, surprise, now everybody wants to carry it around. Same goes why, you know, we have the Steam Deck even. But as it stands, this seems to be maybe a more successful attempt. That said, one thing I have not shared with you, I am hopeful about this. I do have some concerns.
Interesting.
Some concerns. I wouldn't call them deal breakers or like screaming from the rooftops, everything's on fire, but just I think it would be questions more than concerns.
Well, before we get into the concerns, I want to refer to I want to put in my 2 cents on this is the second time around. You said it was before your time, before their time. It was before the time that people really wanted this. I completely concur with that, but I'd like to go a little bit further. Not only was it was before the time because consoles were a much more streamlined, better experience than PCs back then. People didn't really understand PC gaming that much unless you were like PC elite, and it wasn't refined for more casual players back then. We also had something. You also had Alienware on it, and if I recall correctly, the price was outrageous on that.
The price was outrageous,
right?
Yes.
And I think that is the thing, right? Like that's the big thing is price is what matters the most nowadays, which we're definitely going to get into and talk to down the line about this. But in addition to the fact timing, I think that like. Nowadays, it is much more regular that people have a PC or a gaming PC. They know how to at least put one together or they've purchased one. A lot of people have it in addition to a console, and some people are making the switch to the PC, such as myself and other people on this channel. I don't think I think people now, we've reached a singularity where consoles don't really offer anything different than the PCs. In fact, I would say that consoles actually offer less than the PC, a good PC build at this particular juncture. So we're in an interesting space. I think the console makers know that too, which is why this is what we're going to see from Xbox and PlayStation. I think Steam is beating them to the punch on a lot of things. But that was my 2 cents. I'm getting ahead of myself. What was your concerns you wanted to talk about that I interrupted?
Well, I think the concerns, mainly the concerns that I have are, one, kind of to the point that you made. A lot of people are already shifting over to PC gaming, and the Steam Deck had its audience for either people like myself who, you know, I have a PC already and I just wanted to take my games portable. Or, you know, I wanted to, like, I had a Steam library that, you know, I didn't really do a whole heck of a lot with on my computer because of how our house is set up and what we do and everything like that on a daily basis. I like the idea of having something like that in my hand. As somebody who has a Steam Deck, and a gaming PC, why am I going to buy this Steam machine? For no other reason other than I want to hook it up to my TV, in which case I will save myself the, let's be real, probably theoretical $1,000 to $1,200 that I think this thing is going to be in the end. And
I don't agree with that, but
I
can't wait to get into that conversation.
But like that's kind of like, at the same time, too, like, let's play pretend here, too, that they want to try to market this to somebody who doesn't have a gaming PC. Well, if they don't have a gaming PC, there's one of two reasons that they don't. Either they don't have a reason, or the startup cost is too much. Regardless of one of those factors, one way or another, this Steam machine is going to run Steam for your Steam games. I think it's very strange selling a dedicated console. In this case, we'll just call it a console just because, I mean, effectively it is, selling a console with a library that you don't already have established yet that's based on a service. Granted, that's how all games and consoles, effectively started out. You didn't have anything for that. You bought the hardware to get the software. But when everybody's got these little fiefdoms already, there's the Xbox crowd, the PlayStation crowd, the Nintendo crowd. The Steam crowd has already had their home for a while here. Plus, you also have things to consider, like little Timmy, who, like, we're going to get you your first console, let's say. And we're going to get you the games and everything like that. Well, what's this about resolution and like ray tracing and stuff like that? Dad, what's that? Well, hopefully Dad knows what that is, or else little Timmy's not going to know what the hell he's doing adjusting specs and everything. Like I said, I feel like they're probably going to have something built in to where it's like a how-to, like baby's first computer, and of like adjusting settings and stuff like that. But I don't know. Who is it for? That's I guess it all boils down to, who is this for?
Okay, all right. So you did a mouthful there.
I really did.
I wanna preface everything you've just said and everything I'm about to say as we are speculating, because other than the 5-minute video we've gotten, we only have an idea of what the actual OS is going to be like. We know what the hardware is, and I'm going to tell you right now, the hardware beats the shit out of my computer in the basement, which is pretty impressive. That being said, here's what I think this is, and here's why I think in some instances you're wrong. A little bit of a disagreement. I don't think this is for little Timmy. I don't think this is for the people who have a PC. I think this is for all the people, and there's a lot of them right now, who are unhappy with their consoles, who are unhappy with PlayStation, who have gotten to a point where they want the same experience. They're smart enough to know that there's something else out there, but they don't necessarily want to go out and like price out a PC and get it piece by piece. They want to just have a thing. That's what this is. I have a guy at my work who's been a console gamer forever. Every time I talk to him, he's like, man, I need a PC game, PC. I need to get on PC. This is for him because he's not there yet, but he's ready to make that jump. This is that like offer, that entry point. This is like anybody who's on the fence, that's what they're making this for. Okay? Oh, you've been on the fence. Why are you on the fence? Because you got to build your PC? Guess what? You don't have to. You get this tiny little fucking box that kicks the shit out of half the PCs in people's basement right now. All of that, in the books, I don't think this is anywhere near $1,000 to $1,200, and I could be wrong. I think there are some analysts out there I'm more in agreement with that are saying this is going to be $525 to $600. That's what I think this is. I think it has to be. I think the whole point of this is to cut market away from Xbox and PlayStation and make their own little niche in the console department. If they do what they did before with the Alienware stuff and they make it $1,000 or over $1,000, no, it's out the window. We're done before we even started. Cook that thing. It's out. You look at the Steam Deck and its pricing. It was competitive to the Switch. I think that Valve right now has a very good idea of what people are willing to play and what they can pay. And I think they know that the best way to do that is to put it at a normal console. They want people to speak the Steam machine's name in the same breath as Xbox and PlayStation. Just like whenever somebody speaks the name of the Switch, they're also saying the Steam Deck. They did that with the competitive pricing. There's no way that this thing is anything more than, I'll say, $700. I think if this is more than $700, it's a non-starter and it's Steam's biggest mistake to date. This has to be under that.
I really truly hope that you're right on that. But everything that I have heard, like the one thing that really put it in my mind, they had said that it is going to be 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck, and be running the graphics on it is similar to a 60 series card, and they are going to be pricing it based on a pre-built PC. I mean, you're basically looking at any decent pre-built, or at least okay pre-built, you're already looking $800.
Maybe.
And
you can get my PC right now pre-built for about $400.
Yeah, and I mean, at that point, I don't know. I
mean, I see where you're coming from. I'm not trying to start a debate with you, but I don't think that it is that far off, especially when these people, they're going to take a bath on the hardware. Every one of them is willing to take a bath on the hardware. They're going to take the bath on the hardware to get people more on Steam. And the other thing you were talking about, where you said that it's only going to run Steam, I don't necessarily think that's true. They specifically said in the ad, this is a PC, you can do anything with a PC. I think this sucker is going to run whatever you want to run on it. I think you're going to be able to run Game Pass on this bitch.
Well, you could with your Proton compatibility layer, but then that's when you're speaking not to the person who's trying to get into the PC space. I think that's when you're having the conversation of getting somebody who, I mean, if you're looking for that part of it, right, it depends. Yeah, because
if you're telling somebody they can run Game Pass, I mean, because Game Pass is a big thing. As annoying as Game Pass is, and as much as I've walked away from it, it is still a big selling point to people. I think you have to say that you can run Game Pass on this. And I think it's evident that it will run Game Pass, as Phil Spencer came out and was like, "We welcome you to the console space. We're so happy." They released that video the day after, Phil Spencer on a white screen, "I'm so happy for Valve and they're blah blah blah," and that speaks to what we've been talking about forever with Game Pass. Microsoft has no interest in hardware; they have interest in software and putting people on software. So I think if Valve was if Valve was making this thing and they went to Xbox and were like, "Hey, we want to put Game Pass on it too," they would have been like, "Sure, no problem. We want Game Pass on there because we could charge people money for Game Pass. Doesn't matter where it is." So I think this thing is going to run Game Pass super easy. I think you're going to be able to boot your apps up on here super easy, depending on how they do the OS. If they've done the OS to the point where it just works quickly and easily, kind of like a console, but you're able to get all your apps up and do all that stuff, I think this thing will be a killer. I think it'll be a fucking killer for anybody who, like I said, I don't think this is for little Timmy. I don't think this is for hardcore gamers. I think this is for the in-between console gamers. I think this is Daddy's first PC. And I think that's what this is for. Not little Timmy's first PC, Daddy's first PC. I think this is for all those people who have been running consoles for quite a while. They're ready to take that next step, but they're intimidated by it. Well, now you can just buy this little black box. It does everything for you. It does all your thinking for you, just like a console would, but it's actually a PC.
Yeah, and I would say to your point, what you're talking about, with the Steam Deck and Steam OS, I mean, it doesn't feel like you're running on a PC. You have to go out of your way to go into actual desktop mode on it.
Yeah.
So it is very streamlined, and I feel like we've been kind of negative on this a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, it's been back and forth. Bit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also, Valve knows what they're doing now when it comes to the hardware. I mean, on top of, the standard specs of this machine, you're also going to be able to have an SD card slot in there in the front and an M.2 slot in the bottom of the console as well.
Yep.
So it's going to have the expandable storage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you won't be able to upgrade components and everything like that, to be absolutely fair, but that's been kind of Valve's MO so far. They do it the best that they possibly can to make it as universal as you possibly can get overall when it comes to like performance, power, everything like that. I'm continuing to talk because Zach is distracted. I'm trying so hard.
Keep talking.
I'm trying so hard. But they don't want to put out anything else until they feel like the technology is ready to go. I mean, they've addressed the Steam Deck 2, and they said, look, we're not doing it until there's like an actual generational update. The OLED was even a fluke on its own.
Yep. Well, and if you look at the Steam specs, right? And we've been talking about this a lot. Right, we're talking about the fact that it's not upgradable, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be. It does not need to be. That Steam machine that they are going to put out, you will never need to upgrade that. I'll put it down right now. I'll make the guarantee. One stupid guy on the internet says it. You'll never need to upgrade that thing, ever. I have had this PC for 5 years. I am only just now barely on the cusp of upgrading. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I ever upgrade, I'll never have to upgrade again. Because of the fact that nothing coming out is big enough or powerful enough to kill what you have, and nothing going to be coming out is big enough. We've reached a singularity. We don't have the tech to make anything more powerful, and if we did, it wouldn't matter because we really wouldn't be able to notice it with our eyes anyway. Like, we're at that point. This thing is twice as powerful as my PC down here. You're never going to need to upgrade it. It's other than storage, like you pointed out, they have a way to do that. They have a path for that. So, like, I think this is perfect timing. Like, absolutely perfect timing. You're never going to need to buy another one. Like, this is it. Like, buy this machine and you're done. And, like, I will agree with you on some things, because when I watched the ad, I got really excited. And my wife, Ever the pragmatic, looks at me and goes, "What are you excited about?" And I told her, and she was like, "You don't need that." And I looked at her and I was like, "I don't think you understand the meaning of the word need." I don't think it's not one. It's I gotta have that fucking thing. So there is something to that. Just the fact that it's cool. It's you want to be a part of it, especially if it's a little bit cheaper. I will not purchase it because I do not want to also have to pay a divorce lawyer. So I won't be purchasing that, just like I have not purchased a Steam Deck yet. I will say this, though. If I had unlimited funds, I would have both of those fucking things. I'd have them so fast your head would spin. Even if I never used them. They're just cool.
So here's a question, actually, that just kind of popped into my mind.
Sure.
And I don't know which way I would answer this. So let's pretend that this box comes out and it's $800, and you have exactly $800 in your pocket.
Okay.
However, you have this nice, pretty decent range GPU that you could also buy with that same $800. As somebody who is on PC, do you buy the graphics card or do you buy the Steam machine?
On PC, I buy the graphics card. But again, I don't think this is for me. I think this is for the guy who doesn't know better. You know what I mean? The guy who does not want to worry about what buying that graphics card entails and means, drivers wise, installation wise, BIOS wise. Like, he doesn't want to fuck with that. Steam Deck makes it so that you don't have to fuck with that, plus that's overpriced. Actually, I don't think I'd buy the GPU because that's overpriced for the GPU. I would buy a $400 one and be future proof forever. Like right now, if I wanted to upgrade, the only thing that I'd need to really upgrade in my PC is my graphics card. and I could spend $300 on that and be done forever. You know, because my graphics card, the one I have in there right now, sells for like $150, $200. So like, I go up 2 levels and I'm fine. So like, but again, I don't, as much as I do want this thing, I think it's really cool. I would love to hook it up to my TV. I think it's just a gnarly ass machine. That being said, it's not for me. I don't think it's for me. It's for the guy at work that I know who wants to be a PC guy, but doesn't want to deal with a PC. So here's the thing, you know, that's who it's for.
Yeah, and you know, I'm really hoping that this does pay off. I will say the controller does look pretty okay too. The weird concave controller of the previous generation of the Steam controller was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It looked. My hands hurt looking at it. Like it was.
And I don't think there was any parity because it was back then. No controllers had parity, so you played it with that controller, you fucked off, if I recall correctly.
I do believe, yes.
Yeah. So like, this Steam Deck, if you don't like that controller, you could just bring an Xbox controller and hook it up. You're good, you know?
Now, there's one other
machine,
thing.
Sorry.
The one thing that totally escaped me, I didn't know about this until I actually started like watching some other tech videos of it. The Index, the Valve Index, the VR thing.
Yeah.
One of its features is you are able to play your Steam games to make it look like it is on 100-foot screen.
Yep.
That is wonderful. That on its own.
My wife does not believe that it works that way. I was sitting there like, no, that's how it works. She's like, no, it doesn't. There's no way. I was like, no, it creates a hologram right in front of you, and you can play the game on a huge TV. No. I'm like, no, it's true. The future is here. You put on goggles.
Yeah, it is insane because they kind of do the same thing with the Apple Vision Pro headset.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of thing. You can watch your shows and everything, and it uses a bunch of techno wizardry, long story short, in doing that, of course, to make it appear that it is a certain way and a certain size. Meanwhile, it's like this big.
That big. Yep.
Right in front of your eyeball.
Right in front of your eyes.
But the definition is absolutely insane on it. So that too, I feel like would be kind of cool. That said, I do believe that that's kind of niche. I think of all the things announced, that might be the thing that I think is the coolest out of all of them personally. But
it's very cool. The reason I can't get as excited about this is the same reason that VR gives me motion sickness. So I feel like if I had that, even if I'm just sitting outside with it on my head and playing a game, I'm going to start to get sick. And I don't want that experience. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think like a face mask goggle gaming is ever going to be for me, unfortunately. As much as I want it to be, I just don't think so. Even if you're just playing it on a screen, I think I'm still going to get that motion sickness. But how cool is that? Like, that's true portability. You don't even have to hold that shit in your hand, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you got the controllers. You just sit wherever you want and you play it. You go for a walk, play it. Like, that's cool. I mean, it's frightening. I've definitely seen some dystopian movies that have that kind of stuff in it, but it's cool. It's freaking cool, technology-wise.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so is there anything else you want to add to this, or have we covered it all?
I do believe we have covered it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a firm believer in Steam right now, with a lot of trepidation because I've been burned so many times being a firm believer in anything in the gaming space. But like right now, I'm a firm believer in Steam. They seem to know what they're doing, and I love the idea of this machine coming out when it does and just eating Xbox and Sony's lunch. That just makes me so happy. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with the news.
Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the news. What is the news, you ask? Well, the news, Neil likes to collect news stories that we don't necessarily deserve a talking point. We riff on them. We let you guys know about them. I whine about them. That's basically the idea of the show. Neil, what you got for us?
So I got 3 here this week. One of them here is actually Sony was also making some announcements of some stuff. So in firm announcements, Sony did announce a 27-inch monitor, gaming monitor that displays 1440p and up to 240 hertz refresh on there. It also includes a charging dock for a PlayStation 5 controller that kind of swivels down from the bottom and you just rest it in there. But it's official Sony PlayStation branded monitor. Not quite sure why.
That's weird.
Because if you have a console, chances are you play on your TV. Now, granted, there's a handful of people who do have a gaming PC with a monitor and have a console sitting next to it, and it's just their gaming space. So maybe that's the play they're going for.
That's weird.
And yeah, and
that almost makes me feel like that's a hint to what the 6 is going to be.
Yeah, well, they've made some allusions to that actually in the past. That it's going to be like a dockable Switch-like thing.
Yeah.
And Sony might actually also be testing out a cross-buy program, much like Microsoft does, to where you buy the game on PlayStation, you also get a copy of it on PC.
That would be really cool. I don't believe for a second that will happen, but that would be really cool. I would give Sony full props for that if that is something they did. I don't necessarily believe that will happen, but
and actually, I'm just going to interject a fourth one that I just remembered that we talked about the other day.
Hey, we don't have rules here.
Yeah, so this is just like a personal rant part. I called it. I knew it was going to happen. It's happening. Guerrilla Games is just going to ruin... is going to absolutely...
I sent you that one. I sent you that one.
Yeah, that one was funny because I hadn't seen anything about it. I was at work, and when I'm at work, I have like a work focus turned on. So there's a lot of stuff I just don't see.
Before Neil keeps going, for everybody out there, the people who make Horizon Zero Dawn announced a mobile game MMO RPG.
I was going to get into it, but yeah, you
were in full rant mode. I wasn't sure if you were going to go back and explain what you were ranting about.
Yeah, when you had sent it to me, I didn't get a chance to see anything of it. I was like, huh, what? And then I looked it up and was immediately upset. Yeah, they're doing an MMO mobile, but also on PC. Don't ask too many questions about it. Version of the game, to where it's exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be a microtransaction online fest. This is what I was talking about when I finished the last Horizon game. It ended weird. The story got weird, but I was like, it's okay. This feels like this is going to be a trilogy, so we're not going to beat this to death. Like we did Killzone, Guerrilla, okay? We're just gonna be okay with it, and we're gonna do normal things. We're gonna have just our standard release every so often. We're not gonna there's a VR game now. No, that's fine, I guess. Par for the course. I'm sure Sony made you do it. Oh, but what about Horizon Lego? I don't know where that's coming from. Don't even get that one. Yeah. Don't even get where that's coming from, but okay, that's fine. Oh, now we've got an MMO. Okay, cool. Yes, excellent.
Well, and we had talked about
multiple projects.
He's not done.
By the way,
shut up.
Multiple projects. Not just what we already know about and the assumed sequel. There's I believe they said at least 2 more unannounced projects and the show. Holy shit. Stop it. What are you doing?
And it's sad. You watch it in media nowadays. You just watch like a good idea happen, and then it's just like, oh, that was really good. And then it's just like, it explodes everywhere, and it's just in everything. And you're like, now it's feel icky. I think we have been we've been talking about this game forever because they have been saying that there's going to be a multiplayer Horizon game forever.
Yes.
And I said, if this was like a Monster Hunter, it'd be amazing. Like if it was like 4-player, you go on hunts, you know what I mean? They're long, big hunts. We had a whole conversation about it, but no, we're gonna get a mobile. It's gonna be Hoyoverse, frickin' Horizon. You gotcha in characters and shit. It looks terrible. I have no interest in this game whatsoever, and I'm sad for its inception and creation. Honestly,
I 100% not. There's been a lot of that lately of announcements of games that are basically I'm going to call it right now. It's going to be DOA, straight up and down. It's going to be DOA. The game's going to last a year because it is a heavy online MMO service game.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a shitload of people coming in to play this game, it's just going to wither on the vine and just die.
Yeah.
Truthfully, shame on Guerrilla.
Well, and what's crazy too is those kind of games, those mobile MMO type games, the ones that are successful are not licensed properties. Every time they do the licensed properties, they fail. Like you look at like Dislight, Arknights, even Genshin Impact, and the train one or whatever. Like I think that like all of those are like solo IPs. They're new things. You know what I mean? At the very least, like yeah, they got a bunch of bullshit MMO, but they're their own thing. They're unique. I think that like this is just like, oh, so we're just gonna skin one of those like this, like Horizon. That's terrible. And every time a company does this, it fails.
Yeah, 100%. So rant over on that at least. But another confusing thing.
That was a good Neo rant. You were worked up. I liked it,
dude. Because it pissed me
off. That was like a Zach rant coming out of Neo, and I love it.
So weird one, I guess. Death Stranding is going to be getting an animated series.
God. I saw this shit. Oh my God.
Hideo Kojima will be involved.
I fucking hate. I haven't been able to say this on the podcast in a while. I fucking hate Hideo Kojima. I just hate him.
It's been a minute. It is really
it's been a minute. I just hate him. Death Stranding. Oh, Death Stranding. Death Stranding was even worse because somebody made me play it for a review. And I actually enjoyed it for the first fucking 10 minutes. Like, the gameplay is great. And then you realize that the story is all about weird crying babies and death juice. It's terrible. It's terrible. God, you know what? Shame on everybody who thinks that guy is a transformative storyteller. I'll tell you this right now. He writes down the first senile fucking thoughts that come into his weird ass brain, and everybody's like, genius! What the fuck is genius about it? It makes no sense, never does, it's terrible, and half the time it's an energy drink commercial. I hate Hideo Kojima.
It's true.
Oh, I will not be watching that show.
No, I keep having things pop into my head too of other various like this will be a light news thing, I guess. So Prime 4 is going to be coming out here soon, and they did their next like hands-on thing with it. I am now severely concerned about this game.
Oh,
severely concerned about.
You were excited about it.
So originally, the first thing that was like it was cool but gave me pause was the whole motorcycle open world thing that they have on it. We still don't know why that's a thing, and they still have not addressed that in this most recent like preview trailer thing. But all of the hands-on previews that have gone out to the media have basically all been, hey, so they haven't talked about this one really crazy ass thing like at all. So we're all going to talk about it because they've been completely silent on it. In the opening sequence of the game, you come across, there's like Galactic Federation troopers and everything like that. And it's within, I believe, the first hour or so, there is a non-stop chatty Cathy NPC Galactic Federation trooper that follows you around, talks endlessly, and can be killed. Why? Why? And then from there, they're like, oh, well, eventually I got away from him whenever I escorted him to a spot. And then he starts bumping in over comms. And don't worry, there's still 5 more galactic troopers spread out all across the map.
Oof.
I am so worried now. I am so worried because all of the bones are still there, and that's all these previews, all these hands-on previews is all you can see everything that Metroid Prime has been good for and wonderful for and why we like this, but then slammed in there inexplicably for no reason are escort missions. The whole thing with Metroid is about the
solitude.
Just
She's
about
alone.
the solitude. Yeah, the solitude, the loneliness. It adds to the tension. That's been the thing always. If there's ever been an NPC, it's very light, like checking in with Adam in what's it called? Metroid Dread and Metroid Fusion. Like every now and again. Metroid Other M, we don't count that. And there was just very light NPCs and everything in Metroid Prime 3, but it felt natural because it was everybody just going around doing things. So you're just bumping into people who just happen to be doing the same thing. Yeah. But it's not somebody that you have to literally escort. Escort missions are from 2004, dude. We're done with that. We've moved so far beyond that.
So, I haven't said anything about Metroid Prime 4, and I've had this thought for the last trailer or two. I didn't want to say anything. Now you say this, so I'm going to say this, and I hope very much that I am wrong for your sake. But I feel, watching these trailers, very reminiscent of the trailers that I was watching for Halo Infinite. And that makes me very worried and sad for you. Because if this is Metroid Infinite, it's not going to be good.
I don't... There's been so many different things, and there's not been a why. I mean, granted, I get it. Nintendo's always cagey on these sorts of things, but right. I don't know, man.
Why is everything an open world in Nintendo land right now, too?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's only the hub world. It's like the open world part is a hub world. Well, I mean, I don't know if I buy that either.
Right. That's my thing. I don't know if I buy that.
I'm sure something like the game will have you traverse between it, but it'll kind of do like Breath of the Wild, where the last boss is fought on the open world. Who knows? But yeah, definitely nervous about Metroid Prime 4 now. I'm not going to be able to trust the reviews because everything's going to be like, oh yeah, we can't stand these escort missions. They really ruin the flow of the game. Absolutely terrible. 9 out of 10. So,
yeah, it's rough. That's rough. So what else you got for us?
The last one that I have, and it is really, truly my last one, Devolver, man. Devolver's a bunch of gangsters. Straight up gangsters. So they have an unannounced project that they have had lined up with all of the previous release dates for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Okay.
And every time it gets delayed, they update it to the same day. They are intentionally, while everybody else is scattering, to make way for Grand Theft Auto 6, they said, bet, we'll meet you on the same day.
That's insane, because Devolver's not a big studio. They are an indie publisher. That is what they are.
That is what I think, because Devolver's always been fucking crazy.
They are. And I actually have some serious problems with Devolver. I believe they are partially owned by Saudi Arabian businessmen, and they've also led to a lot of a lot of layoffs that didn't need to happen because they went out and purchased like 20 studios. Then the next year they closed 15 studios, and you're like, what happened there, Devolver? So there's some shit about Devolver that I don't like, but this is very interesting. What do you think it is that they're like, nah, we'll fuck them. I mean, it has to be something that has to do with GTA or something in that space, or they wouldn't be pantomiming them.
No, I don't. Personally, I think it is probably just a marketing ploy.
Well, that's possible.
Because they are big into the marketing ploys.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the marketing ploy is they are just following. I will bet you when the next trailer for that game comes out, they'll probably announce their game, whatever this game is.
Yeah, that's possible. I think that a marketing ploy makes sense. Because it's weird, right? It's one thing to not be afraid of it. Okay, cool, you're not afraid of it, but they're legitimately chasing them, chasing that release date. So there's something to that. If it's a marketing ploy, it's a marketing ploy. But you gotta feel like you can't be empty on that, though, right? If you're gonna get that much notice on it, you have to have something in the chamber, I would think.
I mean, I don't know. If
I was them, I would straight up release a GTA 1 style game on that day. That's what I would be working on.
Which very well might be what they're going
hysterical.
for.
One of those top-down, Garanga, the old school ones. But a recreation of that. That would be fucking funny if they did that.
It very much would. But I do think it's just a marketing thing.
Might be.
I think they're just trying to ride that wave.
Interesting. Interesting chest pumping, I think. All right, so that was your last one?
That was it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to do plugs, and we'll be done.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. My good friend Neil, what would you like to plug?
We're still trying to get that Streets of Retro situation figured out. Not quite sure what's going on.
I don't know what it is about our two computers. They will not play Absalom together.
They don't like to talk to each other. So we're gonna, after we finish this, we're gonna give it the old college try real quick just to see if we can get through it or up to it to run.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe beyond 2 screens. That's about as far as we've gotten the farthest.
Yeah.
But we shall see. I'm very confused as to why that's happening. But I've tried everything that's free. So any other resolution beyond this would cost money.
I've updated everything. I thought it was my internet, but I played Arc Raiders with somebody for 4 hours the other day. It's not my internet. There's just no way. So I don't know what it is between our two computers that just will not play this game together.
I would not be surprised if it's something on my end because my internet's been goofy, but
my internet's been a little goofy too lately. So I don't know, but yes, we're trying to get that going. We're trying to get a time or a date going on that. Obviously, I want to plug the HGA. If you are watching this, most assuredly the nominations video is out. Go check it out. And then should you feel the need to vote. As far as other projects, we're going through a little bit of a lull as we work on some new projects coming out. My review for Arc Raiders came out on Tuesday, so check that out. It was actually one of the more borderline negative ones, even though the world loves that game, which makes me very nervous for its release. Yeah. And then on the TTRPG side, we've got Sanctorum. We've got a lot of actual plays you guys can check out. We got Ordo Scriptorium in the chamber. So just stay tuned. Otherwise, you can reach us on Discord. Links in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. And as long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. We'll see you guys next time. Pause. I had no idea you were going to be so negative on that one.
So it's
I didn't know.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because I was when we were talking about it the other day, I was like, "This is that shit, man!"
Yeah.
And then it was the second. I think it was next gen console watch because I'll catch that every single week.
Yeah.
And
they have something to talk about again.
Yeah, dude, definitely, yeah, because it's been kind of dry lately with that. What a show that originally was just going to be about when this current generation of consoles launched, they're still fucking talking about it. Insane to me. But yeah, it was after that when it was like when they really got into the price and that, you know, bringing up like the idea of like who exactly is this for? That's when I was like, like
makes sense.
It does make sense. The argument makes sense. It's
I liked that we had a counterbalance on it. I really did.
Yeah.
Because I was having a hard time finding any fault in it. And I think you make some good points. I could be very wrong. I've been very wrong in the past. I could be very wrong. I don't think I am this time because I just don't think anybody in their right mind is looking at the current market situation and thinking, yeah, an $800 console will work. You know what I mean? Like, an $800 gaming PC when they could buy other consoles will work. I just don't see it, you know? But at the same time, I could be very fucking wrong. So, and it is a powerful ass machine.
Yeah, I mean, all in, it's definitely for what you're getting. It's just, I'm just so worried about that. I'm so worried about that price.
I mean, if it is like $525 to $600, the value of that machine is fucking off the charts.
Yeah,
like,
if
off
it's
the fucking charts.
Just like we were saying, like if it's like 6, even 700, like I can still I can still with the 700, but like anything else beyond that, I mean, if it's like $800, I can get this more powerful thing, or I'm halfway into an upgrade.
I mean, that's the thing. If it's $800, I can build a $600 PC that's almost as strong as it. And I'll play what I need. You know what I mean? Like we're not in the space where the chip shortage is going on and everybody's got to kill each other to get a graphics card. Like
RAM prices, though, have you seen?
RAM prices have gone crazy.
RAM prices are up like 171%.
Yeah, it's crazy. Still, like I was pricing out a PC recently because I wasn't sure if I was just going to build a new one with that storage situation that I had. And I could build my PC that I built for like, what was it? It was like $1,500 out the door. I could build that now for like $400. Like, so like the idea that the PC that I'm using right now, I could build for $400. Like you can't make a pre-built like that that's $800 to be a console. You know what I mean? Like at that point you're in trouble, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into the news. Going in 3, 2, 1.